My name is Mackenzie McCarthy, and I did my interview on my foster sister, Kayla. She's 28 years old, and she was born without a corpus callosum, which is the nerve fibers that connect the two hemispheres of your brain. When she was born, she was actually diagnosed mentally retarded. And I don't know if that's a diagnosis that happens anymore, but it was just kind of a broad spectrum because she had so many different difficulties. She was diagnosed with autism, which affects everyone a little bit differently that has it. It is characterized by having trouble forming connections to other people and communicating and thinking abstractly, things like that. She was also diagnosed slight cerebral palsy, which affects her muscle tone more than anything else. She can walk and run. She's competed in Special Olympics, so it doesn't affect her as much as they thought at first. She was also diagnosed later on with oppositional defiant disorder, which is exactly how it sounds, especially with somebody in authority. When they tell you something to do, you don't like to listen to it. She actually thinks it's really funny when she doesn't listen and then acts out because of it. And then she also has a paralyzed vocal cord, which affects her speech. So she lives on her own in an apartment with 24/7 care, and she has 9 staff on staff, and they help her do typical things, but she can make her own breakfast and make her own bed. They just have to help her along a little bit. So communication is the most common issue in Kayla's day-to-day life. With her paralyzed vocal cord, her cerebral palsy, and other mental disabilities, she's unable to express herself in typical language like you and I would do. So she uses broken speech. If she's trying to say good, she'll say g or ud. She'll never say the whole word, or she'll use some sign language. And charades, kind of, if you don't know her, to get her point across. She'll show you to something or really try hard to get what she's trying to say out. Communication was definitely affected in the school system. She went to school from kindergarten to junior year of high school, and her lack of communication skills was a struggle for the teachers. Now, she had really bad teachers throughout her schooling. They did not want to try to learn basic sign language. They did not use the communication board my mom sent with them. They refused to get her a one-on-one. So when she's not understood, she acts out behaviorally and then can get violent. And so she spent most of her years in school suspended from school. So yeah, she didn't learn much. And then her communication affects her staff now. My mom, when she hires people, she requires basic knowledge of sign language. But even then, Kelly has her own home signs or different grunts or vocalizations that mean something to us, whereas a new person they don't mean anything to. So it takes a little bit for that new staff to learn to understand Kelly. So when she's trying to get her point across, if she doesn't, then she ends up not liking the staff, and so my mom's going to have to find someone new, which is kind of difficult. But as you can tell, there's a pattern here, so when she's not understood, she reacts negatively and violently. So when she was a teenager, she was so violent, in fact, that she wasn't allowed to be at my house anymore, and she was kicked out of all of her group homes and placed into a mental institution. And in that mental institution, they did not really care about her, and so they told her that she would never function in society and would be a danger to herself and the community. But with the persistence from my mom and many other professionals, Kayla has been able to live in her own apartment successfully for 5 years. When Kayla was born, her prognosis was not very good. She was told she would never walk, talk, be potty trained, or live past the age of 30. Kayla learned how to sign at age 5, potty trained by 7, and continues to prove all the doctors wrong. The most important thing that I take out of being Kayla's sister is to never judge the intelligence of someone based off of their appearance or how they communicate.